Recruitment for Arknight's Enfield Beta Test 2 has officially begun. Head to enfield.griffline.com and complete the recruitment survey for a chance to join Beta Test 2 when it starts on November 28th. What's up and welcome back to the Kinda Funny Gamescast for Monday, November 17th, 2025. Of course, I'm your host, Tim Geddes. I'm joined today by Greg Miller.
Hi, Tim.
Hello, Greg, and Andy Cortez.
Hello.
Hello. Little goofy mood?
A little bit. I'm excited for pizza. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited for pizza.
Pizza Day's always fun here.
Yeah, it really is.
Because we're too healthy.
We're way too healthy.
We're all too healthy.
This is the Kinda Funny Gamescast. Each and every weekday, we get together to talk about the biggest reviews, previews, and topics in video games live on YouTube, Twitch, and podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, please support us with the Kinda Funny membership on Patreon, YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts to get all of our shows ad-free and a daily exclusive show. For a chance to be part of this show, YouTube Super Chat your questions, comments, and concerns in, and we'll get to them throughout the show. Some housekeeping for you. Big news on January 28th. We're doing a live in-person in-review. It's going to be us live reacting to, or not live reacting, us reviewing Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck.
Pretty big deal that we're going to be part of SF Sketchfest.
It's first
time. We've talked about it a lot, but Roger and Joey were like, you know what? We're actually going to apply.
Rather than do this half-ass last minute Greg's on Drucker's thing or whatever, what if we did this?
Yeah.
Now, I'll always have a problem with Sketchfest, okay?
Why?
It's a great event.
Mm-hmm.
But you may or may not recall. years. Probably 2015. Sketchfest rolled around and brings in comedians of all sizes. There was a struggling podcast that was very small that was coming to San Francisco. And we had been back and forth a long time on Twitter and everything else. And this was finally when we were going to do a crossover episode. And then Southwest canceled their flight. They never got to come hang out with us. And then they went on to be the biggest stars in the world. Of course, I'm talking about the Indoor Kids. Kumail, Emily were supposed to come to the original spare bedroom and hang out long before he was in Eternals. Long before The Big Sick. And it's that thing where now we're just, I'm never able to catch him. Never. I talk to him and her all the time. Like, hey, you can come. I can't come. I can't do the thing. Can't do it. You know what I mean?
I still believe. One day.
I'll draft an email right now.
Long before Silicon Valley?
During Silicon Valley. Because I
okay.
remember we hung out with him while Silicon Valley was happening at Comic-Con. So that was back at IGN. Anyways, everybody, you can go to... Oh, the link's not here for this one. kindafunny.com/sketchfest, I'm sure.
I'm sure. Give it a shot.
Why not?
Type it in.
We're an 11-person business.
You can
all about
open housekeeping on Slack. And
that's smart. That is smart. That is smart.
Guy's thinking on his feet.
But I nailed it.
I didn't remember there.
I fucking nailed it.
Crushed
you know
it.
what I mean? kindafunny.com/sketchfest. We're an 11-person business all about live talk shows. Games Daily was a humongous episode with us live reacting and deep diving into every single Game Awards nomination. After this, we're getting a new Arc Raiders content stream with Mike and Nick showing off all the new stuff there. If you're a Kinda Funny member, today's Greg Way is going to be live on Patreon and then out for everybody else. You can check it out then. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs, Omega Buster, and Delaney the Psalm Twining. For now, let's start with the topic of the show. Moonlighter 2, The Endless Vault. You both have been looking forward to this game for such a very, very, very long time. It is finally here. The Steam description. Steam description.
2KXO.
That's a rough one. We got started early today.
Live the double life of a fearless adventurer and a crafty merchant. Dive into vibrant dimensions brimming with shiny loot and pesky enemies. Grow your shop, tinker with weapons and gadgets, as well as make your mark among a ragtag community of castaways. I need to talk you guys through what just happened in my brain. Okay. GameStop, GameSpot. Very difficult for us. We get it wrong all the time. Even though we know what's right, we say it wrong.
Outer Worlds,
it's difficult,
Outer Wilds.
right? Steam Deck, Stream Deck.
Two things that exist
that I get wrong. I have to think about in my mind of what am I trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
To me, SD means Steam Deck. And so here, Steam description, Greg wrote SD. I got caught up in which one of these is it? And then I got messed up.
So, and you brick and you fall apart.
Yeah, exactly. The developer, Digital Sun. The publisher is 11-bit. This is the follow-up to 2018's Moonlighter, which had a Metacritic of 81. This is coming out on Wednesday.
Right around the corner.
Woo!
Early
right
access,
around
right?
the corner.
Early access.
Yeah.
Coming out
Andy-
in early access.
You have been playing this game.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about it?
Tim Geddes, I have played 18 hours of Moonlighter 2. I have not beat all of there is to beat in the video game. It is an early access title. There are
But it's chunky.
it's a chunky early access. You're not getting this super light experience. There's a lot to do here in this video game, and there are some menus that you go into and it says under development. We are working on this. They're constantly kind of reminding you that this is going to be an early access title. But yeah, Moonlighter 1 was always a game that I wanted to get super into, and I just don't know what was happening.
Did you never
at
get
the
into
time. No, never did.
Oh man, that sucks.
Something about this, the art style, I think, in Moonlighter 2 really, really struck me and
It
kind
is
of
a
pulled me
step
in.
up. Kevin, let me get you a Moonlighter 1 trailer. Of course, Moonlighter 1 gets that distinction and tossed around quite a lot around Kind of Funny lore because it was one that I completely missed. Kevin, I'm going to toss it into housekeeping because that's what I've opened. I'm sorry. That's what you get. Moonlighter 1 was a game that I missed, that we all missed, nobody talked about. And like 2 months after release, there was a subreddit thread of like, this is the most Greg-ass game I've ever seen, and he's not talking about it. And I found it, saw it, bought it, fell in love, and played so much of it. Just the idea of going through and doing your dungeon runs, and you come out of that dungeon with, do I risk it to go get more stuff? Do I fight more people? Because whatever you're bringing out with you, you're then able to sell in the shop to then upgrade your character, get better stuff, become more better. But it did look like this, which was very, we just had this whole conversation about the Game Awards, and this is such an indie look, right? Like, how would you describe this? I would describe this as an indie looking game.
What's the game this reminds me of, Andy, visually? 2016, maybe?
Oh, you're the one where you went and fought the giants?
Titan Souls.
Yeah,
Titan
there it
Souls.
is. Yeah,
Titan Souls.
100%.
Yeah, the developers of Death's Door.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, this Moonlighter 2 really kind of struck me with its 3D art style and them saying, what if we could take that formula and really kind of, bump it up and be a worthy sequel, not just something that's kind of more of the same. And Moonlighter 2, I am having a real good time with this video game. I really, really like it so far.
Kev, can we go back to Moonlighter 2 footage?
I'm not super comfortable in like putting a score on it or anything yet.
Do it, you
but
coward. What ballpark are you in? Is it
758?
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
like
looking for.
having a really awesome time with it. I do have, some, feedback for what things could be improved and things that I'm enjoying about it.
Early access.
But it is an early access title, and that's kind of what the early access period is for. But yeah, so far having a great time in this world, looking forward to the next run, and looking forward to really kind of min-maxing and finding the game within a game that is finding the loot. The loot in this game is not, you're not just finding shit in a treasure box and taking it back home to sell. They have made that part of the game like a mini game unto itself. If you could bring back that little shot, Kevin, that's it showed the kind of menu of the loot that you have found. The way that the loot works in this game is every you can kind of there's a mini game to be played in your menu where you can make loot more rare. Here you go. This is the perfect spot. If you notice what happened there, the way that the game works is you might find a piece of loot that says, "Hey, this treasure is worth this much. This is how much you've sold it before." However, if you burn it with another item, it'll gain this much more rarity. And so you might find an item that says this burns something, this burns loot or whatever. And if you burn something, it destroys it. But there's other loot that will put a shield on, or it'll armor up like the item. So you want to armor it up, and then you burn it so it doesn't get destroyed, but its rarity ticks up. Then you might find another piece that says, hey, for all of your shielded items in your box, in your little like loot crate or whatever, this item will triple the rarity for all of those items. And you have to place it on the corner of pieces or whatever.
Cool.
Or only anything in this row will things get upgraded. So it's like, it's a really fun thing you're not just like grabbing shit. You are finding ways to kind of game the system and go, ooh, there's 2 boxes here and I don't want to just complete all of the min-maxing immediately. I want to see what's in both of these treasure boxes and go, oh, okay, I can really kind of prep and leave this situation with the best loot possible.
This sounds super cool. Is this a highlight to you of the game so far?
Yeah. I in my segment that nobody else is gonna take up called my Joy-Cons, which are my
First off,
Joy-Cons.
don't do that. Don't shit on a great idea you got.
Thank you.
I think it's a great idea. I think we should. No one's going to. Let's take it up. You make me a little graphic.
Here are the Joy-Cons, everybody. Just imagine.
Yeah, exactly.
Audio listeners.
It should go. It should go. Tink, tink.
Yeah.
They should come on the sides.
Yeah.
Tink.
It'll just be like a red version of me and a blue version of me. And pink.
Well, I was thinking Joy-Con so other people can do it.
See,
you say nobody's going to take it up, but nobody takes it up.
Worried about Nintendo.
I'm not worried about them cowards. They've never sued anyone.
So the item rarity and how to get it is kind of one of my highlights in a game that is largely about dungeon crawling and cool boss fights with neat weapons that upgrade in kind of creative and fun ways, and how all of this sort of melds together is a really cool end product. But yeah, I would say the item rarity and how you are getting items to become more rare and realizing how much more you could sell that shit for, and then realizing what then you can buy with the stuff that you are selling.
Yep.
Super exciting and like a lot of fun, which I, as somebody who's, kind of in my older age, become more of a Fran Mirabella.
Oh, no.
I just love being in them menus.
Spreadsheets.
I love the min-maxing game. I love the, when I feel like I am outsmarting the system, or when I feel like I've done something so smart that I'm rewarded for it, it gets me really, really excited to then go back home in the middle of a run. There's also a really neat feature that whenever you are low health, a little icon will pop up on the bottom right. Because this is a roguelite, this is like almost an extraction type of game where you can go out on your run, and in the way that you select your rooms in Hades, you are, in this case, you are seeing a map, and you might be at this point on the map. If you've ever played Inscription, audience, you'll know what I'm talking about. You'll see a point on the map, and you'll go, all right, I'm seeing on the map that this room will lead to another treasure room, but if I go the down path to that treasure room I'm not super interested in, it'll lead to a really cool upgrade. And so you kind of pick your path from there. And when you do so, you are, the longer you stay in these runs, the more risk you have of dying, because you have a limited amount of heals and a limited amount of health. And you will get a little notification pop up on the bottom right being like, if you're low health, it'll kind of be flashing to be like, hey, you can leave right now if you want. And you probably should, because you're low health.
Pushing you to go.
And you risk losing a lot of your shit. Now, you don't lose everything on a run if you do die out there, but all of your shit lowers in rarity like a devastating amount. So if you have if you have a lot of sick ass stuff in your inventory, you might want to consider leaving, because you risk losing out on a lot of money if you don't bounce early. It's a really cool loop so far, and the boss fights so far have been really fun with kind of like telegraphed boss fights with boss moves that you would expect, where it's all these lights are these spots on the ground are flashing, avoid those. Here comes this laser wall, dodge, roll through that. Like, the movement feels awesome. I do wish some things that in my cons section of things that I would love to see improved on. The depth of the town and the shop customization, I wish could feel a bit more meaningful, because one thing that I really loved about my time with Fields of Mystria, which granted is more of a cozy type life sim game where you are dealing a lot more with like the denizens of the town and how you're customizing your house and things like that. I don't feel like I have a whole lot of ownership of the shop so far.
Got it.
You can upgrade it here and there, but I want to be excited about adding a new wing to the shop, or there isn't a whole lot of that yet so far that I've experienced, and hopefully that does get a bit more deeper as you go on, because like I said, it is an early access title. And
how early access does it feel right now? Like, does this feel like something that you could recommend people playing, or it's like, hey, you should probably just wait till 1.0?
I think games have gotten so much better about hopping into early access, not doing it too early. I think there is plenty here to see, in the same way that when you hop into Hades 2 at launch, when it first came out, and we're like, whoa, this feels more complete than a lot of video games when they come out. But you would still see temp art here and there. There are definitely like temp menus in here where you go, all right, well, we don't have this done yet, but it's under development. This does not. I would say the most early access it feels is playing this game on Steam Deck, where it doesn't run great. It's a bit under optimized. It's enough to where I didn't want to play it because I was having enough fun playing it on my PC and decided to tell Greg, "Hey, can I request a code for another game? Because I'm going on a trip and Moonlighter 2 just is not working great on Steam Deck so far. You can get like a choppy 30 frames, maybe like it might drop to 25 every now and then. It's choppy enough to not look good and not feel great in a game where you want to be as responsive as possible.
Sure, silky smooth.
Yeah, if I'm turn-based in, then that's a different story. But there's a lot more of you wanting to have your timing correctly in this video game. But yeah, the loop of the combat, I think you would really, really vibe with, Tim, with how...
Looking out there, look like, all right, I can see this.
4 different weapon types. You have your standard sword, and there are different variations of those 4 different weapon types that you find blueprints for along the way. You might find a blueprint that says, hey, I can eventually save enough money to upgrade this greatsword to where how I'm using it is a lot different now. The way each weapon sort of has their gimmick about it. One of my favorites is the spear. The way the spear works, whenever you attack enemies, it drops arrowheads, and those arrowhead pieces drop down. And then when you hit Y, it sucks all the arrowheads back towards you, and any enemy in the way gets hit and affected by it.
Real cool.
And that it feels so awesome to do when you're doing enough damage as it is, and you're dodging at the right time. And then when you hit Y and you're lined up perfectly with where the arrowheads are coming back to you, and they magnetize towards you, so you could run around and kind of hit a lot of different people as they sort of get sucked back to your origin point. But it's really cool to see that effect happen. I do wish that a bit more could be done, like I mentioned with I was talking earlier about the shop customization, but I wish more could be done in terms of combat with how the passive abilities work. The passive abilities here are essentially your boons from Hades. You know, you hop in, you see a Zeus boon, you're like, all right, we're going to have electricity here. Or here's Hera, we're doing fire or whatever. The way that they work here is you can unlock passives like burn, which will do damage over time. Or you could do foam, which will slow down enemies, and then the foam eventually kind of, as it's on them for a while, explodes and does a bit of damage after the fact. And there's electricity, which will kind of stop enemies from moving, and you have the chain lightning and all that stuff that I love. But whenever I run into one of these kind of, when you look at your map and how you're kind of exploring these levels, you might see a piece on the map that says like a question mark. And whenever you do the question mark, it's kind of like a chaos boon.
Okay.
Where the chaos boon might be like, hey, for the next 3 rooms, anytime you try this move, you'll take damage. But if you survive, then you're going to have this little effect or whatever. The way, I don't feel super stoked about the way that the elements kind of intertwine with the weapons. I think there's more to be had there. Maybe I just haven't played enough, but I'm hoping that we can get some more creativity with how the weapons and the elements kind of intermingle together. I wish there was a bit more kind of unity and synchronicity there. But overall,
good for you, Andy.
Huh?
Synchronicity.
Oh, good word. Yeah. But overall, I'm having so much fun with this video game so far. I have been kind of trying other games that I couldn't really talk about yet, but this game has taken up a lot of my time and a lot of one more runs or moments where I come back with a shit ton of good loot and I go, ooh, I don't really want to sell these yet, because the way that the selling works, Tim, is you open your shop during the daytime after you're done with the run, and you go put these little things. So I might have a purple item with a certain amount of rarity, but I've never sold anything that expensive before.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to find a purple item with way less rarity to kind of gauge the market.
Price it at? What are people buying?
Because when people walk into your shop, there's tons of times where I feel like an idiot where I underprice the shit out of something. And the little shop guy will walk up to your little thing and he'll see an item and they will react in kind.
These emojis go off above their head.
Cool.
Steal. That's fair. That's a little shitty, but I'll buy it. And that sucks. I'm not gonna buy it.
When they are full on smile with gold money eyes, I'm like, fuck fuck you, god damn it.
Underpriced.
Actually, that's the wrong price. We gotta but then yeah, so like you kind of like test out the market in that way. So there's been a couple of runs where I come back with awesome loot that I have not just found but manipulated into making way more rare with the way the system works and how much fun that system is. And then I get back and I'll be like, well, let me sell this one purple item to see what it's worth. Oh, it's going for that, and that's kind of a steal for this dude. Hell yeah. So I'm going to price this next one that's way more rare, and the rarity adds like way more extra money on top of what you're getting, and you use that money to upgrade your weapons or go to this lady that like gives you more heals, or you can upgrade how much health heal is giving you whenever you're in a run, or you're upgrading your health bar, or there's a lot of different people in these towns that or in this town that have, all right, that's the person that's going to give me an extra slot in my inventory, and each slot that you're buying is way more expensive than the last. So those are like things you want to be saving for.
Are you satisfied with the permanent progression?
So far, yeah. So far, I'm having a real good time with it. I do feel like sometimes I'm not progressing as fast as I would want in terms of the things that I'm buying, but or maybe just the price of following upgrades. But it is nice to be able to find a blueprint for the weapon type that you enjoyed, like the greatsword, which I really enjoy using. But I wasn't a big fan of how the first version of it operated. But then I found a blueprint for a special type of greatsword that somebody in the town told me a rumor about. And so I found it, brought back the blueprint, had it built, and now it operates in a different way that I enjoy using it a lot more, where the greatsword has like a meter on it, and it's the sharpness meter. And in order to get the sharpness up, you have to use your Y, your special button, which is like a stab, and that brings the sharpness up, and the higher the sharpness, the more damage it deals. And I wasn't enjoying the first iteration of it, which operated a bit differently. But now the second version, when your sharpness is up, it the sharpness will go down over time. But the more you upgrade that, the less it goes down like quicker, right? So now I'm having this super powered weapon that is always kind of at its sharpest level anyway. And then there are secret rooms in these journeys where you can find a dude who says, hey, I can upgrade your weapon right now. The blacksmith will kind of like meet you in the middle of a run. And one of the upgrades might be, hey, it takes way less to get it to its max sharpness level now. So it's like, oh shit, now I only got to do kind of one medium ability to get the sharpness way up there. Now it's like full powered for a lot longer. It's doing really creative stuff weapons wise. I think it could be more creative, intermingling the elements, the foam, the electricity, the fire, all of that stuff could be a little bit more creative.
Do you think that is the direction that they're going? Like with it being an early access, does it seem like there's signs of them intermingling a little bit more in the future?
I don't know if I'm that early enough. I've beat like 2 of the bosses, and
any idea how many there are?
So I see 3 worlds. I've tried the third world.
Okay.
And I haven't gotten to the final boss there yet. But whenever you beat a boss in like one of these like areas you're going to, essentially you unlock the night version of that level, which is a bit tougher. Enemies do a bit more damage. And I'm assuming if it's not the same boss, if it's not a different boss, it'll be the same boss with like new patterns, I'm guessing. Or else that'd be a pretty big miss if you're just kind of fighting the same boss over. Sure. But yeah, so far I've seen 3 worlds with 2 bosses completed so far, with all kind of different sounding soundtracks. And shout out to the GOAT, Christopher Larkin, who's working on this soundtrack.
I didn't know that.
Worked on Hollow Knight and Hollow Knight Silk Song, and among other things. But so far, like the soundtrack is banging in this one, and I'm really, really enjoying my time with it.
Awesome.
Yeah, this is like if you give a shit about like fun games with action, with good action and great progression, and especially like the roguelite one more run aspect.
Yeah.
I think this is like one to really, really keep an eye on. If not, just get in right now if you got nothing going on in your life.
I mean, Greg, you were the biggest fan of this game.
That's right.
I know you've been talking about it, you've been waiting for it. You were mad when it like wasn't showing up at different showcases and all that stuff.
States, yeah.
Clearly, you've been playing a ton of it.
No, sadly, I haven't, Tim. As you
Why?
know, it is review crazy season. And so I had picked up a little game called Octopath Traveller 0. And I was like, I'll kick the tires on this till Moonlighter gets here. And Moonlighter got here. And I put down the preview for Octopath Traveller and went and played Moonlighter. And this is not at all. I love Moonlighter. I loved what I played of Moonlighter 2. But I played 30 or 45 minutes of Moonlighter 2. And I was like, damn. I actually really feel like that Octopath game, so I went back to Octopath.
And I want to hear all about your thoughts on Octopath Traveller 0 right after a word from our sponsors. Arknights Enfield is a real-time 3D RPG with strategic elements from publisher Griffline, coming to PlayStation 5, PC, and mobile devices in early 2026. Experience an immersive story and explore the frontier world of Talos 2 as you command a team of up to 4 operators in stylish real-time combat. Gather resources, plan, and construct your production lines with the automated industry complex factory system to feel the true satisfaction of a management sim and to transform the planet through industrial growth. Beta Test 2 is the latest playable experience for Arknights Enfield and introduces a rebuilt storyline, a brand new explorable region, revamped combat, a deepening AIC factory system, multi-platform support, and much more. Recruitment has already begun, and you can visit enfield.griffline.com now to complete the recruitment survey for a chance to join Beta Test 2 when it begins on November 28th. This episode's brought to you by Aura Frames. There's a gift that can bring your favorite holiday traditions and memories to life each and every single day, and it's called the Aura Frame. No lie, Aura Frames are undeniably the best gift I have ever given. Family, friends, partners, everyone loves being able to have beautiful frames showing off their loved ones and favorite memories. You can order the frame online and preload it with photos and videos using the Aura app, so it's ready to go right out of the box. There's unlimited storage, so you can add as many photos and videos as you can find. For a limited time, visit auraframes.com and get $45 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter by using promo code KINDAFUNNY at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code KINDAFUNNY. This exclusive Black Friday Cyber Monday deal is their best of the year, so order now before it ends. Support this show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. auraframes.com, promo code KINDAFUNNY. This episode is brought to you by Factor. Fall always feels like there's just so much more stuff to do. Shorter days, busier routines, back to school. It's all just a lot. That's why so many of us here at Kinda Funny love Factor. Their chef-prepped, dietitian-approved meals make it easy to stay on track and enjoy something comforting and delicious no matter how hectic the season gets. On many occasions, Factor has completely saved Greg and Jen when they needed it most. You can choose from a wider selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp at no extra cost. Enjoy even more GLP-1 friendly meals and new Mediterranean diet options packed with protein and good-for-you fats. Eat smart at factormeals.com/kindafunny50 off and use code kindafunny50 off to get 50% off your first box, plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code KINDAFUNNY50 off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box, plus free breakfast for 1 year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. And surprise, we're doing a special live recording of In Review as part of San Francisco Sketch Fest. What movie are we doing? It's a Marvel movie we've been avoiding for years, but it's finally time. It's Howard the Duck, baby. We're doing it live. It's going down on January 28th. Grab a ticket at kindafunny.com/sketchfest before they sell out.
The email reads, subject line, come to SF. Then the body reads, Dearest Kumail, I hope this letter finds you well. I'm writing this on Kinda Funny Gamescast, live. I just told everyone about how the indoor kids and Kinda Funny almost crossed over one Sketchfest, but Southwest canceled your flights and ruined our plans. Let's make it right. Come hang out with us. Don't worry about whatever movie you're filming. They'll understand. Your closest friend in the world, Greg Miller. Game Awards winner 2015. Sent. That's how you do it. That's how you
do it, everybody.
That's how you book guests.
You know what else you do?
What?
You do what Sky did. Doing some crazy stuff that I'm incredibly excited about. Sky Super Chats in saying, I've purchased tickets for Sketchfest. Hopefully, I can get a decently priced flight from Minnesota.
Whoa!
Excited to finally see Kinda Funny in person.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun, Sky. Thank you so much for that.
We're super happy to have you there, Tim.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I told you not to have a kid. I
Hey,
said, look at me, it'll ruin your life.
Yeah, the chances of me being there are unfortunately
Less than zero.
fairly low. Not
What if
less
you
than
bring the
zero.
whole family?
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I don't
Babies
know.
have weird sleep schedules.
I don't understand what's going to happen. I'm just throwing myself in it. We'll figure it out, Andy. We'll see. I don't know. I probably won't be there, but everyone else will be there.
Of course.
I don't know. We don't know who everyone means. It's going to be great. It's going to be worth it. I promise you. And you don't care about me anyways. It's okay. Greg, do you care about Octopath Traveller 0?
Tim, I care quite a bit about Octopath Traveller 0, it turns out. I did a Greg Way about this last week at Embargo. This was the embargoed Greg Way I had done because, this very year on this very show, we did a whole Gamescast about me walking away from turn-based RPGs and how Persona 5 I've never been able to finish. Expedition 33, it's just I see it, I understand the quality. I just get so bored with the gameplay that I have to walk away from it. And there's a litany of others, but in there were the exceptions I talked about. Tossing out Octopath 1 and Octopath 2, which were games I sunk, I forget now, it's all a blur, 40 hours into each of them or whatever, never rolled credits on them, but played a bunch of them on my Switch. I specifically remember Octopath Traveller 2 dominating my time on a Quebec trip with Jen. But it was one of those where I think we weren't reviewing them. I was playing them later, so inevitably another review came along and took me away from it, and I never got back to it, even though they hold such a special place in my heart. So when Octopath Traveller 0 swang through with its preview build here and stuff, and it was like, yo, do you want to play this? I was like, yeah, I want to try it, but I'm so burned. And yeah, the Greg Way was after that night one with it of just building a character, which is different for the series, just getting into this world where you're eventually going to build this town and then playing on words beyond that even, right? I was floored by how much I enjoyed it and how much it clicked and how much I was like, oh man, I didn't even know I had been looking for this in this moment, and this is here now, and I'm really enjoying it.
I am so thrilled to hear that. Obviously, Octopath, a very, very important franchise. Like, I love that it has now kind of become a mainstay for Square Enix up there with the, Final Fantasies and the
and this art style,
the Kingdom Hearts and all of that, where when we saw the State of Play last week and they're like from a beloved Square Enix franchise and they're talking about Octopath, it's like, dang, man, like they've kind of earned that title with, Octopath Traveller 2 being a lot of people's like game of the year the year it came out. And I will also say I don't get you, Greg. I don't get it.
I don't get myself.
Yeah, I know.
I don't get myself, man.
Because it's like the whole like I don't like turn-based. I don't like this. I don't like this. And it's like your answers of like the ones that you do like are the most turn-based things imaginable with Pokemon, and then with this, right? So it's like trying to figure out what is it, And is it
I don't know. It's a great question. Yeah, I think more than anything, and because we're going to talk about Octopath Traveller 0 and why I already like it so much. The idea, I think, to compare it, and again, let's get the cards on the table, everybody. Expedition 33 just walked away with the most Game Award nominees of all time. I am not saying it's a bad game. I'm just trying to talk to you about why, for some reason, it doesn't click with me. Octopath Traveller 0 and the way it tells its story, and I know, Andy, you've been playing too. We had a very top-level conversation out there. There's something about the characters just chewing the fucking scenery and like the three villains you're seeing in this story trailer just being the most over-the-top bad guys that works for me. And I think another interesting wrinkle to it that I don't have time to figure out in the lineage of like, since I never was the Final Fantasy person, I never was a Chrono Trigger guy. I've tried to come back to that in the past and stuff like that. Suikoden, where Jared Petty always wanted me to go play those. I think some of the tropes of turn-based RPGs, especially turn-based JRPGs, work for me in a way it might be for so many other people. I've seen this, done all this, or whatever. Specifically for Octopath, though, the over-the-top villains you're getting, the characters they surround you with, and the fact that they're all voice acted and I'm able to enjoy it both like an HD 2D movie of sitting there with my ROG ally, letting the cutscenes play, or stopping it all and paging through one by one to read the little word bubbles and stuff like that. It doesn't have me on the edge of my seat in terms of like what's going to happen next, but I am so engrossed in the story of what I need to go do. Then I think you jump in and you pair it with a battle system that I have always enjoyed so much, because I think it gives you all the information you need at a glance, at your fingertips. Persona, right? If I wanted to know what this, and this is more of a Persona 4 thing, Persona 5 I don't remember as well, but like, if I want to know what this character I'm fighting is weak to. I have to call in Rize. She goes and tells me, and then I know, okay, what to do. Then I got to remember it, and da-da-da. The fact that with Octopath, like, when you go into a battle screen, if you can get any fights up, you know, below each character are these little boxes that are question marks to start, if you pause right there. But as you attack them with your weapons and fill them in, you learn what their weaknesses are. So I don't have to remember when I come back through a thing years later, hours later, whatever, that I have to open the thing and do the thing. What was that goddamn thing? Blah, blah, blah. I feel like the action and the combat is so snappy and so satisfying, which is a big part of it, right? As you see your team over there, your BP up there, right? As you go through and do your normal attacks, you earn the BP right every turn, and then you can use them to make your moves even stronger. It's all stuff we've done in a million other JRPGs and turn-based games, but the way that I can at a glance see it all and know who everybody is and have it all set to go, the way I get into like literally a flow state of switching between characters and having them go through and do these battles and stuff, and then having it wrapped up in this gorgeous art style, this world I'm super connected with, this story that I find interesting, and I do want to know, like, the way they tell it in chapters, right? Which again is an Octopath thing. And then to talk about Zero and why I think Zero is working for me even more than what 1 and 2 did. Did you play 1 and 2?
No.
Okay. You didn't either, right?
I played like 2. Like, I don't know why I said it.
A little
2/5 is what I was meant. That's the weirdest way to say that, but 2/5 of Octopath 1.
So letting me have just the smallest amount of agency of making my character, choosing a hairstyle, choosing a color, choosing an eye color, giving them a name, picking your favorite meal your mom makes. Like they do a bunch of like really little small stuff, but back to what we were just talking about in Gamescast, right? Western RPGs feel a different way for me because of choices in ownership. It really gave me my character of Vex is who I named here, after, of course, Laura Bailey, being Vex and being in this world and then making a few little decisions, but being like, all right, my dad is this and I'm going to do this and I fight around that. Like, it gave me such a great starting off point to then go from, and then I am the team leader. I am doing this. Octopath 1 and 2, I loved, and I loved the different stories you got. But inevitably, I'm so into the dancer storyline, but I've gone as far as I can, and now the next chapter is 5 or 6 or 7 or 10, whatever levels higher. So I need to go do the other chapters, and I'm not feeling this very trite warrior story. Making this, in quote-unquote, one character story, but surrounding it with characters who have interesting threads and have their own permutations, reasons for fighting, you know, tragedies, successes. Like, I really, really vibe with that. Sorry,
Andy?
Ranting.
No, I like it. And how much have you played of this?
I've played about 3-ish hours of it. I played through the beginning hour and a half twice because I gave myself like a certain like color of brown eyes, but a lot of these shots could sometimes look really blown out, and it suddenly just looked like my character had white eyes.
Cataracts.
Yeah. And so I started over and created a character with darker brown eyes. But I'm really liking it so far. I like the story a lot so far. I think the writing is pretty bad. I just want a character to drop a bar every now and then, and I'm getting no bars. There's a severe lack of bars here, Tim. Even so far as like some lines of dialogue being read to me are like just outright terrible sometimes. Like one person going, hey, you're gonna get this thing because your friend here, he was chosen. Friend goes, what do you mean chosen? And he replies with, yeah, you were chosen. Like, that's not a joke. Like, there's sometimes they drop shit like that sometimes where I'm like, man, did this, like, I don't know, was there like a translator working on this game? Or like, I don't know, was something lost in the English translation? But the story of what's happening is kind of what's keeping me going with it. And one reason why I want to keep playing it, because as somebody who's generally not a turn-based type of player, I really love the sort of loop of come back and build this town up, and this thing was destroyed and you're going to build it up. We're going to build back better. And so it's not really I saw Creed in the YouTube chat asking like a house building like mechanic. It's more of a town building mechanic. You're not like, using wood to like, I'm going to put this wall up here and put this. You're basically just like looking at a grid and saying, I want to place a house here because I got a new person that I recruited who is really good at bringing back wood or stone or whatever for the town, and I'm gonna house you here if you want, and then, like, that becomes their little area.
It's so early too in this
Yeah.
preview. Like, it's clearly there's a lot going on, but a lot of it's gated by okay, now you got to go do these other quests that are outside of it.
Yeah.
By the way, demo of what I think we are previewing is available now.
Yeah. I'm
Progress carries over.
I'm
So cool.
like shockingly really enjoying it. And this is the game that I asked to play on my LA trip recently. I asked for a code because I was like, well, Moonlighter 2 doesn't run on Steam Deck, but this will. Yeah,
I've got on your ROG Ally though.
I'm sure it does. I'm sure it looked better on the Steam Deck though.
I'm sure it will.
OLED specifically.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it quite a bit so far. I want to keep on playing. I don't know if I will stick with it, but right now at least, like, I want to go home and play more. Like, that's where I'm at with it, which is not something I could say for a lot of different turn-based games. It's scratching the right itch for me right now, and I would have played more Moonlighter 2 last night, but kind of the same thing happened with Greg. I'm like, I'm feeling this right now, even though I want better writing. I'm enjoying the story of the things that are happening.
Not that I think you're gonna. I mean, I know what you're talking about. I'm not at all. Are you out of like the prologue? Has the big thing happened?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Greg, I want to follow up with what he just said. Do you see yourself sticking with this one? Because I know how much you loved specifically Octopath 1.
Yeah.
I feel like less 2. I don't really even remember you playing too much.
Octopath
of
2
it,
is
but
the Quebec trip. Octopath 1 was a bunch of LA trips with you where I was playing it on planes.
those you didn't finish. Do you see yourself actually finishing this one, or do you think this is a franchise that you kind of you get what you get from it for the hours you put in?
I hope that I finish this. We are in an interesting time right now. There's redacted and redacted or whatever, but I can make time for this right now. It's more we talk all the time about trying to fit in games in anybody's life amid all the things happening, amid all this stuff, and then you toss on being a dad and da-da-da. So when the director's out there being like, this is a 100+ hour game, that's when it's like, whoosh. Oh, what do you say?
You're already thinking of pushing me away. Ay, Dios mío.
Yeah, so no, what do you get scared? Koi?
Huh?
When you get scared, what's the thing?
Kukui.
Kukui.
Yeah, like the
Kukui,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I would love to do that. I would love to commit. I would love to get a full-fledged, I've rolled credits review out on the Gamescast in the coming weeks. But, we'll see what life brings our way.
It seems unlikely, but like you want to. It's there.
The desire is there. Yeah, this is definitely I wish I could just wrap myself in the blanket and sit there and play. And I've played it on the big screen on my TV. I play it a lot on my ROG. I play it on the
Tim, what was the word of the day that you brought up during
synchronicity.
No.
It was
Which, is that even a word, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, synchronicity is a word.
What's the difference between that and syncreticision? Is syncreticision not a word?
That's not a word.
Okay, cool. There you go.
What? Oh gosh, it was when something just doesn't look like it's a part of the thing. We were looking at a game that was by Pocket Pair, who is making like a Hollow Knight style game, and there was incongruous. Thank you, Creed.
Thank you.
There are some incongruous parts of this HD 2D experience for me that
talk to me about
really stick out for me, and they're like the smallest little nitpicky things. Well, first off, visually, I wish the game was less crunchy visually in terms of contrast. That I'm with you.
It's
like if something's in shadow, it is black, and it's like I wish there was just like let's turn down the contrast a tiny bit.
Again, I would never. I love the Octopath series. I would never claim to be an expert as somebody who's not rolled credits on either of them before, but played a ton of them. So I look at this and I go, it looks like Octopath Traveller.
Yeah.
When the reviews popped last week, I forget whose I was reading, but they were like, this seems visually like a step back from 2, where there's some, in this one, 0, there's, great HD 2D art, of course, but then there's like muddled things in the forefront or background in a way 2 didn't do. I can't speak to that.
Yeah, I think like there are some 3D assets that could be better utilized and, can be done artfully better. But there's also a moment, Tim, where you're walking through a forest and there's 2 squirrels, and both of these squirrels have different pixel counts. And it really fucks with me. One isn't way further away, or they are both like near a road, and one of them, they are just the complete different pixel count. Where it's like, why did you choose to do that? They're both the same size. You see them at the same perspective. You're not using less pixels on this one because it's way further away. It's like they are just different shaped beings, and it looks like they were bought from 2 different texture packs.
Yeah.
Though the 2D, we're supposed to use
You and I have different pixel counts.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. But I don't know. In a world that tries to kind of keep things similar looking when of the wall on the back of a bar and all the stuff on the wall are like using similar shaped pixels. Whenever you see that, it's like, oh, that really just fucks me up. I hate those goddamn squirrels, dude.
Azhar super chats in and said, I never played any Octopath Traveller. Should I start with this one? This being, I assume, a prequel?
Yeah, this is a prequel to everything else. I mean, the other ones too are anthologies, and I know it's the same world, but I don't think I don't think you're going to be hurt anyway. And I'd wait for reviews on this one to see what you jump in. Like we were talking about earlier, I think Octopath 1 was obviously well received. Octopath 2 was like paramount.
2
for
seems to
so
be
many
the standard
people.
right now.
Even where we're at with this one off this preview, I'm having a lot of fun here. Is this town builder going to be additive? So is it going to subtract? Is it just going to be that? Like, there's a lot of questions still for a long game on this of how it'll net out. So I would say wait for reviews, but 2 is a super safe bet.
Yeah, I was way more into the idea of having like a deeper building mechanic. I was hoping this was going to be like, I went out to go gather some wood on that after getting, going for that one mission. And now that I've gathered all these stuff, I want to like build this house wall by wall. And, I'm not looking for the most in-depth sort of experience, but I was a bit let down that it is like place a house down.
I like that. I have no problem with that. My complaint so far, and granted this is just a preview, is that it just open up. Let me go. You know what I mean? Like why like there's like 3 tiers, maybe even 4 to the village of Wishvale that we're rebuilding, right? And like, cause it's like in the trailers that you should see it get destroyed or whatever. And then it's like, all right, we're rebuilding it. So it's like, let me just go and put stuff. Right now I feel hampered of like, well, I wouldn't put the fucking house here, but I can't get to the other 4 platforms. So I guess I'm shoving it here. And granted, you can move stuff after you place it, like with no penalty and no cost.
Yeah.
But I would be way more into, hey, the tutorial's done. Now you're set to go. Yeah, you're gonna have to get more residents and do stuff like that. But go ahead and start laying it out how you want. Right now, I feel like I'm in just I'm treading water until finally they're like, all right, cool. You've got the keys of the kingdom. Everything's opened up. That's when I'm going to be like, all right, cool. I want to Animal Crossing this and like put a walkway here and put a well there and do this kind of thing there.
Yeah. Very cool.
Very cool.
Any final thoughts on Octopath Traveller?
I'm excited to play more. Hopefully you'll hear from me in December about it.
I hope so. And hopefully you enjoy it December 4th when it releases. Jay-Z's birthday.
That's so soon.
Never forget.
But that's the same day as Metroid Prime.
It is.
4 Beyond.
What are we talking
Elden
about?
Ring Night Ring
What are we
DLC.
talking about? Too many games.
Oh, Elden Ring
That's
Night Ring.
I keep forgetting about that.
Domination says, is this a $60 or $70 game? It is a $50 game, $49.99.
Oh.
Good for them. Good for them. Well, everybody, this has been the Kind of Funny Gamescast. Thank you so much for joining us today. Our day is not over. The boys are about to hop into some Arc Raiders and show off all the new content that has been added there.
Wow.
And of course, every single day we do this show. We do games daily. We have a great time. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you today. We'll see you forever. Goodbye.
Bye.
See you forever in your nightmares.